Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome back to the hangar. Today, Kevin's letting me drive his Mark III Supra. In the previous video, I did say it was an 89, but it's actually an 88. We just got this thing running. He drove it yesterday. Since last time, I've never actually driven it. The only time I ever really driven it was just to move it outside the shop and then back in. But since then, we've figured out the fuel issue, did the 12-volt fuel mod, and he converted from power brakes to manual brakes. So we're gonna go get in the ride and see how it feels. All right, so initial impressions with the interior. I really do like the seats. I like the color of the interior. I like how the gauge pods, some of these do not work. He has aftermarket gauges right here, but overall, I like how ergonomic it is. The shifter's right here. Clutch feels pretty good. Sadly, this car does not have AC. We're still working that out. I don't know if he's gonna actually do AC on it or not. He has an Apple CarPlay radio thing right there that he's gonna eventually wire up to all the speakers. But overall, here we go. I'll go ahead and start it up for y'all. Clutch in. Starts up every time, no problems. Close the door. Even the windows work, which is very surprising. On a lot of these older cars, those tend to go out. Yeah, his gauges works. I believe these bottom two work. That's his air fuel ratio. It takes it. Yeah, there we go. This car does run a lot, really rich. And his boost gauge. I do not know if this one works or not. Yeah, let's go for the little drive. All right, everyone. So we're gonna go for a little drive. Gotta move this thing out the shop. Now, I do know there's a couple problems with this car. One thing that I noticed, and we were talking about last night, is clutch travel engagement. So on this car, it's like the clutch doesn't really bite till it's like almost at the top already, like 80-90% of the way up. That's when it starts to bite. So that's kind of annoying. This is a 5-speed, so up all the way to the right and down is reverse. Parking brake down. Just slowly release on the clutch. Right there, it starts to bite. So let me get out the shop real fast. This is my first car I'm going to be driving with manual brakes, actually, so we'll be able to see how that feels. I've only ever really had power brakes before. There. It takes a little bit of effort. All right, first gear. So Kevin told me to keep this thing below 3K RPMs on shifting. He also mentioned that this transmission does shift pretty hard. So we'll see how it goes. About to get on the highway over here. Do not like that clutch. I looked at the technical manuals for this car, and it's one of 4 things. One is the pedal height is out of adjustment. 2 is the push rod length, because these are hydraulic clutches, is out of adjustment. 3 is there's air in the hydraulic lines, and 4 is if it's the clutch is just bad. So here we go. We're about to get on the highway right now. Do not like that clutch engagement. All right. Does shift pretty hard. I do like the sounds of the blow-off valve. It has like that whistle to it. My Cobra is 6 gears. I almost went into the race gear. I forget his turn signals doesn't work. Oh, we're going about 70 miles an hour. wish the AC worked at least, but you know, you can't win everything. He does have a check engine light on that did come on yesterday. I've never read codes on an OBD1 car, so I'm gonna look up a little video on it or a form, and then I bought a Tesla at Harbor Freight, so hopefully we can read the codes on it and tell us what's wrong with it. It does run really rich. The codes can be anything as simple as emissions or whatever, O2 sensors, something we've already changed, modifications. He does not remember if it's had a bad check engine light, or if it's had a check engine light before it went out of before it went down. But we can read the codes. It could be something as simple as a mass airflow sensor that could be making it run rich. But overall, this car, it drives pretty good. I'm about to try downshifting right now because it said it sucked. So, yeah, that does kind of suck. Slightly reminds me of my Fox body just a little bit, how everything is. It's also driving an older car. This is a Targa top, so this top does come off. It does leak a lot, so we need to fix the seals on it. But yeah, just going for a little test drive. Probably about to turn around here soon. But overall, pretty good car. All right, everyone, so we're back from the shop, or back to the shop. I did try out the brakes when I was out there, or when I had to come back. Obviously it's like 70 miles an hour and I stopped. You get they're pretty, for me, it's like my legs are a little bit stronger, so I can be able to push the brakes. Where's the latch on this? Right here. But it did have to put some effort to get the car to slow down. I noticed on our way that whenever I would get into it, probably about 50% throttle, about 4K RPM, this AFR gauge would read like 15, 16 AFR. That is way too lean for this car. It did pop at me at one point, and that pop sounded very familiar because I had a problem with my Fox body at one point that ran super lean, and it was the same type of pop when you got onto it. So I'm gonna try to read the codes and figure out what's going on. My bet is it could be a mass airflow sensor, but it could be other things also. So let's get to it. All right, I watched a little video on how to read OBD1 things. All you really need is just something to write on, pen, paper, cardboard, and a jumper wire. So on the Toyota Supras, there's a little diagnostic thing right here, but you just gotta look at the pins. So you need to connect, if it focus, E1 to TE1. So we go over here. This pin right here is E1. And this middle one right here is TE1, which I'm trying to get it in there. All right, and then all we got to do is go inside the car. All right, everyone, so we just got to read the codes now. The jump wire just wasn't in all the way, so all we got to do is count the engine flashes. So let's go ahead and do that. So 2 and 4, so it's 24 space, and 3, 31, 3, 2, so 32 now, 3, 4, so code 34, 5, so code 52, and there's a long pause, and then it resets. So 2, it's gonna go to 4, so it reset itself. It started back over. All right, so we got that now. You make sure you write them down, and then I gotta look up a tech manual and figure out what these codes are. So I'll get back to y'all. So I pulled the codes on the Supra, and I got code 32 and 54, I believe. And code 32 is the AFM. It's some either a short or a voltage issue. I believe the AFM is the mass airflow sensor, or the sensor that's right here. And then code 52 is for a NOx sensor. So when I looked at the technical manual for some things, it showed like symptoms and common issues. So it said spark plugs could be fouled, some other stuff, vacuum leaks, of course. These cars, or most older cars, are notorious for vacuum leaks. They're pushing 20, 30 years old. They're starting to crack. So I'm gonna let the engine cool down for a little bit. I'm gonna pull a spark plug because when the car originally went down, the starter just kept going. And I brought it up last night. I was like, maybe your spark plug just got fouled by gas leaks. It was still injecting gas into it. So I'm gonna let it cool down and then pull out a spark plug and see what's going on. All right, so after talking to Kevin about the codes that I was getting and some other stuff, he told me that he talked to some Supra forms, and he has a aftermarket ECU right here. So he told me go ahead and unplug the stock ECU and just plug in the standalone and see. I don't know if it's gonna run because it does use an internal map sensor, so it uses a vacuum line. And on my Fox, I had a Terminator X that had the same thing, and it would run super rich, or you'd even just die and would not start if that vacuum line wasn't in there. So let me go ahead and unplug this and try it out. So here's the stock ECU. It's got one more connector to unplug. There we go. One more after that one. There we go. Stock ECU's out. I'm just gonna lay this right here. And yeah, let's plug this thing in. One of these are not gonna get plugged in, so that's gonna be kind of interesting. We'll find out which one it is. I think it's this one, but all right. Let's see here, the big one. All right, I'm gonna put the phone down and get it plugged in, and then. All right, so everything's plugged in. Nope, no start. All right, I don't know. I'm just gonna send the video to Kev, and then we'll go from there. So, all right, so I changed out the ECU, and now the engine does not want to start. I told Kev there's a vacuum line that's supposed to hook up, but I don't think I have any spare vacuum line laying around, so we kind of can't really do anything. But we'll figure it out. But that was pretty much the day in the Supra for right now. So catch you in the next video.